5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is 14 North Radio.
I get
With
mentally
Mikey
torqued.
Solis, Sean Miller, and Jared Bensick.
Hey. That's that guy.
Hey, hello, welcome to 14 North Radio. I'm Jared, here with a good pal of mine from way back, Mitchell. Is here to join us, and then we also have, your regulars, Sean and Mikey.
Via remote. Mike, how's it going remotely?
It's pretty good, Bob. The weather out here is...
I know, right? Like a remote live shot.
It's been pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like the newscasters
Yeah,
on
it
CNN.
really
They're like,
feels
yeah, I heard you. You sit there and watch them look like idiots on the TV. Thank you for having me here, by the way.
Of course. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
yeah, thanks for coming in, dude.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm all about this.
So, I've known Mitchell since 2006. It's a long time. One of my longest friends, to be honest.
Oh.
And Mitchell just got back a little bit ago now from Colorado on a Tarantino film.
Yeah, the Hateful Eight.
So did you
You
sneak
guys
out
still
any...
shooting?
No, we
is that
wrapped
still-
up about 2 weeks ago. Our last day.
Did you guys have a rap party?
Yeah, we did. We had a pretty chill one here in LA. They kind of blew their wad on the rap party in Colorado. That was the jam. That was probably the best rap party I ever had. They did it in a mine.
What does a rap
Really?
party entail for a film like that?
Well, the first one, when we wrapped it in Telluride, it was in a mine. You walked in, you got a hard hat and signed a waiver.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, for
That's
real.
awesome.
And then we got in there, and it's like inside they had a DJ set up
What?
and music playing, and then a bunch of food vendors, and then bars, a couple of different
You know a
bars.
party's going to be legit when you have to sign a fucking waiver.
Right,
And
that's
wear
what I
a
thought.
hard hat.
That's exactly
And
what I
a
said. I was
hard
like,
hat,
okay, it's going to be hard to top this. I have to wear a hard hat. And they had all these different kinds of hard hats, like even helmets. They had like fighter pilot helmets you could pick. Everyone could pick kind of their own
That's
helmet.
so cool.
They just had to have a hard cover on your head. Because it's technically mine. It's completely safe.
Did you have to take a mine cart down?
That would have
Donkey Kong
probably
Country?
that would have probably been the icing on the cake. But even better, when you went outside into their rock quarry on the outside, they were burning shit. Like they had Burning Man people come, and they had all these fire exhibits, and they built
Jesus.
this giant shack out of really plywood and the crepe things, and
Pallets.
pallets, and they burned the whole thing down.
This is why
And then-
movies are so expensive, because the party.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the budget right there.
Exactly.
So the party
But
after.
is this mine, do people do this? Or
Yeah,
is
they
it-
actually throw a fire festival there that's put on by the Burning Man people every year. So they brought them. That happened right when we got out there shooting, and a couple people went to it, I guess. But they brought some of them back, paid for them to come back to do it again. They had this grease cannon inside the shack that we built.
Yeah.
This guy that looked like those dudes that walk up to volcanoes. In those silver suits.
suits?
He would walk out there in that, and he'd fill this tube, and it's this gigantic bonfire all around him. He's walking through fire, and it would heat up the grease cannon, and it would shoot a giant flame ball into the air. And there's a DJ booth outside that has fire shooting out of the top of it, and so there's a DJ outside, DJ inside, two different places. There's more bars outside, and it was
Sounds super
mayhem.
safe.
Mayhem. It was amazing. Well, it was safe because they had, of course, being a movie,
Fire.
completely had drivers the whole time. They hired a driving
really?
service, so
Oh,
you
that's
got
awesome.
driven there and back to Telluride, because it was just outside of Telluride.
Yeah.
So it was a 10-minute, 15-minute drive to the mine, and then you got wasted, and they drove us back. It was
That's
great.
insane. But no, so the actual place where they
Did
do
you
the
party
mine,
with Tarantino?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, Quentin is the best boss you could ever have in the entire film business. He is a film aficionado.
You haven't obviously worked for
nut.
John Barber yet, then.
It's our,
He.
it's our boss.
Sorry, that's our
Oh, okay. Well, I understand that. But, Quentin is so passionate about what he does. He learns everybody's name on set, and he connects with everybody on set. It is complete filmmaking. He wants everybody involved. Everybody gets the script. Everybody has to read it. It's mandated. You have to read it. And then there's 2 rules on a set. No cell phone. You'll be fired. Immediately.
No cell phones.
immediately you'll be fired, even if you're an actor. Like,
Wow.
yep, Jennifer Jason Leigh came in accidentally, totally understandable. It was when we were in Colorado, so she had her huge warming coat on, accidentally still had it in her pocket, and like noticed it. I was like, oh crap, can you send this back to like what we called Checkpoint Charlie, and who's my good buddy Spencer, and he was like, yeah, I'm glad you saw it, but you know, if that shit goes off or anything, I don't give a fuck. You're gone. I'll go home, sit at home, and hang out. I don't give a shit. You can figure it out with the Weinsteins. I don't give a fuck.
I like that.
So-
And she just kind of looked at me like, "Whoa!" Like that,
That's
because this is our
serious.
first time working together. It's like, yeah,
So,
no
yeah,
phones.
all hands on deck. Everybody's focused.
Everyone's
does he allow sort of? Is there a collaborative sort of cloud? Sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you notice something and you want to bring it up, you bring it up. It's not going to be like a banishment of like, get out of my, you know.
Do you make eye contact with me?
Yeah, no, it's he's on set, he's always laughing, he's, you know, joyful. I mean, he has his bad days like everybody has their bad days. He's under a lot of stress, but he is most of the time laughing, having fun, liking to tell stories, tell jokes, talk about movies, talk about music. We're, as the sound department, we play music all day.
Oh, really?
And he makes requests all the time. People on set make requests all the time that we can't play the Beatles, though. He hates the Beatles.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. I hate the Beatles too.
He
How?
cannot play the Beatles.
I got a
It makes
million
two of you
reasons
guys.
why.
But his second rule, which is my favorite rule, not to interrupt you, but is no falling asleep. Not a fireable offense. It's understandable. We do really long days. Did some of the longest days I've ever done on anything.
What happens if you fall asleep? Cattle prod or something?
You get Big Jerry'd.
All right. What's that? Tell me.
Big Jerry is a 18-inch long, 4-inch thick purple dildo. And they put it in your face and take a picture of you and put it up on the wall of shame, which Quentin keeps from every movie.
Did he sneak into my edit
name's
bay
Big
and steal
Jerry?
it?
Its name is Big Jerry, and the only department
I
that's
feel like I
immune from
can't
it.
have a friend named Jerry ever again.
Yeah, because you want to call him Big Jerry and then think about this giant purple dildo. Transpo is immune.
Just Jerry. And
Transpo is immune though because they're allowed to take naps and whatnot. But everybody else, even actors. I mean, we Big Jerry'd Kurt Russell in this movie, and
man.
I've seen pictures of Brad Pitt being Big Jerry'd. You know, Sam
Does
Jackson.
he have a
Big Jerry.
book, or what does he
Yeah,
have?
he keeps it, a whole file, because there's a wall of shame. It gets posted up outside the set. It's a cork board, so anytime someone falls asleep, you get Big Jerry. Amazingly enough, though, this was the fewest Big Jerrys on any movie, but that's because of the cold.
I'd hate to be his assistant. Well, first of all, I imagine Big Jerry is kept in the briefcase that was in Pulp Fiction, but I'd hate to be his...
That's the Golden Glove.
Yeah, that's it. Problem solved. I'd hate to be his assistant walking into the airport to go film the movie carrying Big Jerry. And they're like, excuse me, ma'am?
It's
Or
actually,
sir?
It's actually funny you mentioned that because he has like his main assistant who's also associate producer, and she has an assistant who kind of is his assistant as well, and her name's Kara. And they were like, when they first got out to Colorado, they're like, shit, we forgot Big Jerry. So they called Kara, like, okay, you got to go to Clinton's
It's not
house.
like they got a store
and,
they
you,
could
and
buy
this
it.
is like her first time working with him. So they're like, you got to get Big Jerry. And she's like, what? He's like, no, okay, it's in this cabinet, blah, blah, blah. And she goes and gets this giant thing and has to ship it.
Imagine going to the UPS for that.
Oh, yeah, right? I was like, I would go get the box first. I wouldn't come in and be like, I need a box for this.
I'd pack it with other shit, so when it goes through X-ray, it looks like other things, maybe.
No, there's no
Hopefully.
mistaking this. The thing has like 2 balls on it that are probably the size of tennis balls. It is a it's like one of those grotesque, massive dildos.
Yes.
So like no like woman or man should ever take, you know?
could you get it in one of those? Could you get it in one of the flat rate boxes?
Like a
No,
shit.
no, absolutely not. This thing probably weighs
I
like
want to
3
see
pounds.
this technique implemented in other jobs.
That would be great.
Like, you know, like Ralph's.
Well,
Someone
see,
fell asleep in the break room.
we joke about this all the time. Is being on set, we're like, none of us could ever have regular jobs.
right?
Like I always in my mind flash to like, okay, you know, if I worked in a cubicle office, I'd be in the HR department. It's like, so why did you slap that guy's nuts? He asked a stupid question. He deserved it. You know? Or why are you clipping things to people's shirts constantly on the back of their shirts and jackets?
C-32s or
Yeah,
whatever?
C-47s.
C-47s.
And all sorts of things. Like on this movie, we started a game with me and some of the grip buddies. We cut out of a, you know, foam core, a middle finger. and we called it the bird game. And you had to clip it on people throughout the day.
Just
And
the
if you
whole-
ended up with it at the end of the day, you were the asshole. You can't do that in normal
you
jobs.
can't. Yeah, I couldn't imagine dealing with a HR like department where they have to sit you down for something silly and as meaningless that you have to talk about.
Yeah, and you're like,
Right.
okay, like, can I leave? But I mean, in that kind of like situation, you're stuck in a cubicle, you're sitting at a computer. It's like,
Right.
how are you not going to sexually harass somebody?
No,
That's what I
that's
want to
wild.
know. Well, how they expect us not to. It's like, I have nothing else to do.
What capacity did you work on for the film exactly?
I was the cable utility / boom operator for the movie, and I did it all of production. I'm not really involved in pre-production or post-production.
Were you the single boom?
No, we had a boom. We had two boom operators on this. We had an original boom operator start with us, and fortunately, he had some family stuff and some health issues, so he had to dip out. So I brought in a good buddy of mine. That's a
Why
boom
didn't you call me?
I didn't.
Too short, Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're.
We could have
local.
shipped
I
him
don't know
with
if you're
the-
IATSE
Stand on
695 local in the union or not.
We could have shipped him with Jerry
Yeah, right.
on the way out.
But yeah, I was the cable utility, so I boomed 50% of the movie because as a cable utility, I second boom on every shot. So at one point, I'm getting off camera, and then when they turn around on that actor, the way my mixer likes to do it, I stay on the on camera. So I wound up booming 50% of the movie.
Since I know we can't really talk about plot points or anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I want to know so much about one of my heroes, as I've mentioned this a couple times on the show, is Kurt Russell.
You mean the God amongst men, Kurt Russell? Absolutely
wow.
amazing human being.
My pants just got a little tighter right now as we talked about that.
Most professional actor I've ever worked with in the industry, and not like toot my horn, but I've worked with a lot of pretty big people, and he absolutely steals the cake for me. He's been in the business for, if you really think about it, 54
Doing
years.
What, Disney?
Disney. He started
Disney
as a
stuff
Disney
as a
kid.
kid, yeah.
So check this out.
Check it.
So where I'm at today, his dad owned a baseball team here.
Yeah.
In Oregon City.
Yeah, he used to talk about that.
Small world.
He would talk
That's
about
cool.
that on set. Like I said, baseball is one of his very big passions. I was telling you earlier, and he loves baseball, so he would talk about that baseball team.
He seems like he would be just like that man's man.
Oh, he is.
You
He
wanna,
absolutely
like,
is.
just,
He
like-
owns a ranch. He hunts. He
Yeah.
flies planes. He's he's us. He's a normal guy. I talk sports with him every day. I'd wire the guy
Just with
every day. I wired him every day for 93 days. So it's like I got to know him really well. A lot of this movie kind of takes place, or at the beginning of the movie, this isn't giving away anything, so I'm not worried about it. But it's, it takes place in a stagecoach. So there's, riding it. There's like days on end when we were shooting in Colorado. I would be in a stagecoach with him for 3 hours.
Really?
So you just talk to the guy. He's not like, I have to be, he's a professional. He's been doing it for so long, so he's not like, I have to be method, so you don't talk to me or anything. He's like, he'd give this amazing performance, and when we all cut, okay, we're going to reload or move in or something, and he'd just be like, so like I was saying, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
Right.
That's so
this
cool.
guy is just a gem. My favorite.
Sean and I were in a limousine with Jerry Lewis for 5 miles.
Oh, wow.
I forgot about that. Jeez. That was the most pointless thing ever.
He just stared at you.
Well, it was when we were doing this documentary about Jerry Lewis, and it was like, well, all right, we're going to get the limo ride from his house to his event he was doing. And I was like, he's going to be funny and do stuff. No, he sat in there and just like looked at cat pictures on his phone.
He's
like,
old, though,
complete
right?
waste of time.
Yeah. My favorite thing about Kurt, though, the most impressive thing about him, besides how easy it was with my job, I wired him. We had a system of putting in his jacket and everything, and all I did was change a battery at lunch. It was no fuss. So it was just like he'd come and find me on set sometimes. He'd see me really busy. He'd come over close by me and go, you got to change his battery, because we had a routine. And I'm like, oh, yeah, thanks, Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
But he told we had, because it takes place in the winter, so we had some fake snow elements when we were shooting on the stage. It gets stuck to the bottom of your shoe. He told the wardrobe department, oh, just leave a putty knife in my dressing room. I'll scrape it off at the end of the night. He would do their job and hang his wardrobe up perfectly. And it's like all the wardrobe would just rave about him, as well as everyone else in the entire movie.
Wow.
Anybody work with him rave about him. There's nothing bad about this guy. He was really cool. I mean, I got I gave him a beer when we were in Colorado because I brought a couple beers out with me, and one of them happened to be the brewery's Wineification, which is like a wine stout.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird amalgamation, but he owns a vineyard. I don't know if you knew this.
Mm-hmm.
He owns a vineyard, so he's really into wine, and so I was like, "Here, try this," and it was great because we got so busy when we were doing such long hours. He'd come in like every other day, like, I didn't drink your beer, I promise. I'm like, dude, I don't care. You drink it when you want. But he was just like, he wasn't like an actor. Like,
that's cool.
Oh, thank you.
It's refreshing to hear that
exactly.
story.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you hear so many bad stories about actors and just like how it's like you don't even want to work with them. Like, and then it's also, I think the industry a lot of times it puts this like veil over actors that like crew's not supposed to talk to them and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so shitty.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about this movie. It was, you can't be that way on Quentin's set, you know?
Yeah.
He's talking to the crew, you know? Like, I don't know if I told you the 3 o'clock high story. You ever seen 3 o'clock high?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago.
Okay, so then you'll get this reference. So one day Quentin comes running in, he's all excited. He's like, where's Mitchell? Where's Mitchell? Where's Mitchell? This is also why he's such a great guy. He knows my name, wants to associate with me and everything. Like, he asked double-checked my name on the second day. He's like, Mitchell, right? From Torrance. I'm like, yes. He goes, okay, good, I just want to make sure. But he comes running in, he's like, you ever seen 3 o'clock high? And at that point I hadn't. It's a pretty obscure movie. I was like, no, I haven't. He goes, you're fucking useless. Well, anyway, I'll tell you the story. He goes, the main character's name in that movie, his last name is Mitchell. If you remember, it's like Joe Mitchell or Robin Mitchell or something like that.
I might be confused. Is the 3 o'clock highs where he gets into a fight after school at
Yes,
3?
yes.
Everything
Goes wrong for him in that day. And
Yes.
some new student comes to school.
Yeah, the kid with like leather.
Yeah, and he's like, he
3
doesn't like to be
o'clock.
touched, and he
And
touches
he keeps
him.
looking at the clock. It's like,
Yep.
psh,
Yeah,
yeah.
And like it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse for him. Well, at the end of the movie, when he's in the fight, the bully kid knocks out or punches the principal out, and eventually the principal gets up in the midst of this whole like fighting and like him triumphing over this bully. The principal gets up and there's this great fucking line, and it's like a dolly. Like, as he's laying down, it's a dolly pushing over his legs up to his face, and he goes, "Don't fuck this up, Mitchell!" And it tickled Quentin so much because he remembered it and he associated it with my name. Quentin would yell it at me all the time on set, constantly. Like, before we roll, we, like, get everything set and about to roll, I go, "Don't fuck this up, Mitchell!" And then, action. And it was like, oh my God.
Side note, the bully in that movie, I can't think of his name right now, but he was one of the detectives in Something About Mary.
Yes.
I can't think of his name.
Yes.
Wow, that just like
But
connected
he has
dots
a
in my
super
brain.
square face.
What was that, Mike?
Not Matt Damon.
Matt
Or
Damon?
No.
Matt Dillon?
No, that's the private eye.
Dylan.
No, that's a private eye. He was one of the cops.
The actual cops.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Wow,
yeah, so he'd yell
when
at.
he
He
got
actually
busted in
signed my
the,
script. Don't fuck this up, Mitchell.
Really? That's cool.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, so it's like it's this very much a association, not a disconnect. Like, we're above the line.
Yeah,
You're
that's
below
awesome.
the line.
Did people ever ask him about his other films and like?
Oh, he talk about his other films all the time. He loved to tell stories, man. I watched him and Sam Jackson do almost all of the apartment scene in Pulp Fiction.
Line by line,
Like,
huh?
basically, just they went through the big part of the what. Say what again? So I watched Sam Jackson go, say what again? Say what one more goddamn time? I double tell you, motherfucker. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm witnessing this right now. This is amazing.
That's
this
so
is
cool.
absolutely amazing.
I knew a guy one time. He was he cleaned pools and he cleaned like fish tanks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
One of his clients was Marlon Brando.
Oh, wow.
So he's out there cleaning his pool, and he sees Marlon in the window, and he goes like, he waves him in, him and his brother. So they go in, they're all like kind of nervous. And so they're sitting down, they're having like a drink of water, and my friend's brother says, Mike loves The Godfather. He's one of his favorite movies. You're one of his favorite actors. And he goes, oh yeah? And he does this full monologue from The Godfather right there in front of him in his house as they're sitting there. In character.
I would cream my pants. I really
He
would.
said it was just like they were like mouth open, just
it's
watching.
funny. I just rewatched your Godfather because I was like scrolling through stuff and I'm like off from work. So I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch great movies, and I was like, I haven't seen The Godfather in probably like 5 years or so. That movie's perfect.
Oh, it's so.
There's
good.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
There's maybe one flaw, and that's the missed punch in the fight scene.
right.
But other than that, there is no flaw
I
of that
kind
movie.
of like part
It's
2.
that's another perfect movie.
I consider 1 and 2 like one movie almost.
Yeah,
3
it's
didn't
pretty much one movie.
Count to me. I didn't like 3 at all.
Yeah, there's not very many perfect movies, but that could be considered one of them.
See, 3 does not have a bad story. It just has bad casting.
Yeah, his daughter.
Oh, yes, and it will always go down as the worst mistake ever.
Yeah, I was going to say, side note, Marlon Brando, somebody told me the story that one of his last movies he did when he was getting real heavy, he didn't want the cameraman to shoot his belly or his gut or anything. And they're like, we're not framing it that way. We're not shooting that. And he goes, all right, well, I don't trust you. So he would do every scene with his pants off. Just in boxers.
Just so they couldn't do it.
Just so they couldn't do like a wide shot on him. He just have a shirt on, no pants.
That would absolutely make sense of Brando.
I know in Apocalypse Now, he showed up and he was fat. And
Yeah, he was like 70, 80 pounds overweight. They're like,
You're supposed to be in the
and then they
jungle.
rewrote the entire last scene.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in the jungle, supposed to be not eating very much, but then they pretty much changed his character as these lush king that was eating all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
And that was his
But
idea.
his role was amazing in it. Like,
Yeah. It's incredible.
I mean, that movie's fucking amazing too.
Yeah, you watch Heart of Darkness, and they explain all of it. Like he comes in, and he's like, "I have all these new ideas. Let me just Coppola."
Speaking of movies, I had an idea last night, Mike. Well, and all you guys, I want all you guys to kind of chime in on this. I was thinking, like, what happens in movies that you wish could happen in real life? Like, you could. Example I have is what if Oompa Loompas were real?
Oh, that'd be
And you
good.
could have your own Oompa Loompas.
I'd love to shoot a gun and then go empty and still be able to shoot it.
Right?
That's always been my one beef in movies when they
You
go
just don't
back.
want to hit anything.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Exactly. Or you could stick your finger in the barrel and it just kind of curls backwards the other way. I've
Like
always
Looney
wanted,
Tunes style.
I've always wanted to, like, speaking of cartoons, I always wanted to take a drumstick and just eat it whole and throw a bone down.
Just
Yeah, like, because it looks so delicious.
Yeah.
I always wanted just to do that
I
and
knew
throw
a
a bone
guy that
down.
would do that. Like, he would just seriously.
I could
Oh
never
my
do
god,
that.
there's so much like grizzle and stuff on and fat and like
Yeah.
even sometimes little bones. You can't just you're playing with fire there.
But what if you did have your own Oompa Loompas? You could. And by the way, speaking of that, I always thought too, and this occurs to me now. What a fucking racist slave driver Willy Wonka
Yes, he was.
Exactly.
He just would blow his little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and he had slaves, indentured
orange midgets.
servants. Yeah, like, hey, take care of this little midget orange people.
Yeah.
And they'd sing and play for
exactly
his pleasure.
like slaves.
Right? Break out the song when you fucking do this.
But he thought that he was freeing them because they weren't getting
Eaten by some
Yeah.
I'm
fucking
freeing you by
monster.
being slaves in my chocolate factory.
But
It's
you know
like
what? I
Nike.
don't count that bullshit story because it's in the remake where Johnny Depp looks like a creepy Asian woman. So I've written anything like from
Doesn't
one
he look
movie
like that all the time, though?
He kind of does.
He
huh?
kinda
a little
does,
bit.
yeah.
like a really raggedy Asian woman.
But no, I don't know if that's in the book or if that's some fucking weird Tim Burton shit.
No,
that he
that's
made
Tim
up.
Burton taking license.
Tim Burton should quit. Just
Really?
quit filmmaking.
Oh, well, it's funny you mentioned that. We had to shoot Sam out of this movie because he was leaving to go to London to shoot Tim Burton's next movie.
Which is
Some book, like...
I didn't see
Wonders
Big
or
Eyes,
some
but
shit.
there
I
was
don't
a
know.
stretch of time when he was
Let me
just
look.
like shit after shit after
It was.
shit.
I didn't see Big Eyes either. Amy Adams is in
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that. I haven't seen that.
I don't know. No, I didn't see it. Do you know which movie? I watched a movie on the plane ride back that was terrible.
What
And
was
for
it?
some reason, it was like, so this big, like, critically acclaimed movie was terrible. A Most Violent Year. Did you see it?
I didn't see
I haven't
it.
seen that.
Don't.
Really? It's that
Don't.
bad?
It's terrible.
Don't.
It builds up to nothing.
I hate that.
And it's
shit.
confusing the whole way through. They don't explain backstory, then it just reference people, and it's all like kind of like a mob movie, but not a mob. It's so bad.
Is that the one with who's that with?
With all a bunch of no names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the main character, the guy, I can't think of his name. Well, he was, what's his name? The Coen Brothers movie that came out.
Oh, yeah. Was
New Orleans,
Oh,
New
Brother,
Orleans
Where
Davis?
Art
Inside New
Yeah, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Living something Llewellyn Davis.
Llewellyn Davis.
Oh, Llewellyn Davis. That's
he
right.
was the main
Oh,
guy.
was he?
That's right.
He's a cool actor.
Yeah, I mean he was good in the movie, but
Yeah.
the script was just terrible.
He's in
It's
Ex
just
Machina.
terrible.
That movie looks amazing.
Miss Peregrine's House of Peculiars. That's the next
Sounds-
Tim Burton movie.
It's fucking terrible.
It's in development. Beetlejuice
Even the
2.
title sucks.
Beetlejuice
See,
2.
but Michael Keaton said he's doing it.
He's doing it, but I met the writer.
Don't need to do it.
I met the
Yeah,
Mike.
you don't need
Mike,
to.
you and I met the writer, right? Were you around with R.J. Berger?
Ooh, RJ. If RJ
No,
Burgers.
you didn't. You took Tim.
Oh, sorry. We did a show for MTV. It was The Hard Times of R.J. Berger, where this kid went to high school with a big dick.
Yeah.
That's the guy who's writing Beetlejuice 2, who worked on a show about a high schooler with a big dick. Look his name up. The Hard Times of R.J. Berger. And he talked about it. He talked about, Beetlejuice 2. This was like 5 years ago.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Dude, it stands alone. You don't.
you
Yeah,
can't fuck with it.
listen,
He's the same guy who wrote Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer Slayer.
Oh,
Whatever.
so this movie's going to be awful.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible.
Guaranteed.
It's going to be
Guaranteed.
Another thing, can we talk about that's going to be awful? I mean, I don't know if I'll go see it in the theaters, but I know I'll see it at some point. But I hate it already. Is Jurassic World?
Oh, it looks bad.
I can't.
How dare you take the scariest and best thing from Jurassic Park
Make him your buddy.
and make him your buddy?
What?
And
T-Rex is your homie?
No. The
Velociraptors?
Velociraptors.
Dude, you see him riding on the motorcycle in the trailer with them. They're like next to
No,
him.
even in the trailer, he goes into the pit. He's like, no, and like it's like hand signals with him. He's like, I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm not going to see. Like,
they should have never
are
made
you
any other
kidding
Jurassic
me?
Park movies.
That's-
Jurassic Park 1 is phenomenal to this
Oh,
day.
I have it on Blu-ray 3D, and I watch it at least every
It's the
3
only
months.
movie I've
It's perfect, and it still holds. Even the CG
Oh,
still
the
holds
CG's
up.
great.
When that T-Rex comes through the fence and everything, you watch it and you go, wow, that still looks good.
It's the only movie I've ever watched that made me think about, shit, maybe I should become an archaeologist when I go to college. Because the movie came out, what, like
93.
93, 94,
Three, yeah.
93?
Three.
Yeah, so I was young enough to, like,
here's
what am I doing
here's
with
what
my
I
life?
think.
Yeah.
I think Spielberg actually made dinosaurs.
He could have.
Euthanized all of them.
He killed them all
God,
afterwards.
we can't let
why it was
anybody
so
know
real.
about this in the
Dude,
public.
it looks so like I watched it probably 2 months ago. It
He
looks
used
so
the
great.
lysine contingency plan.
Oh, no, right?
Spared no expense.
Yeah, there really is a like
Hey,
Isla,
did you see
whatever
that
it
thing?
is.
Oh, sorry, Mitchell.
No, go ahead.
Hold on. They said they spared no expense, but they could only hire the dude to write code
Neiman?
for them. They didn't have enough money to get somebody
Newman.
else.
Yeah, right.
Newman.
Newman.
He
Didn't
wrote
say
like
the magic
millions
word.
lines of code.
That fat bastard, like eating
hate him.
Butterfingers all day. And that's spared no expense. Spared no expense.
By the way, did Samuel L. Jackson made smoking look so delicious in that movie? Because that's all he did was just smoke.
Oh, by the
Yeah.
computer.
You're just dangling the whole entire time.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine working like at a desk and smoking, like just ashing right by like where
Right?
you're working.
Well, and like, what about all the other people working there? That, like,
But
don't
everybody
smoke?
smoked.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess
back
that's-
then, like
yeah.
newsrooms,
Right.
every single person's in
Everybody's
there
just
smoking.
Look at. Well, what about Apollo 13, dude? Remember that the movie and stuff? Like they were everybody was smoking at
That's
the control
true.
panel.
That's true.
insane.
Yeah, it's different times. Man.
Yeah, because like smoking inside is like you could smell it. It sticks to everything. and
Oh,
you're like,
you
"Oof."
can't get rid of it. It's not like weed smoke or something like
Yeah.
that dissipates eventually, or you can get rid of it. Cigarette smoke just burrows in deep, and it has this burnt, awful, just ugh.
Yeah.
I can't stand cigarettes.
I just can't stand them like inside. So all right, we kind of skip past. If there was a movie that they did something that I could let it happen to me, it would be like, I don't know, almost like Neverending Story. I
What?
want that to be real life.
You want to ride that creepy
Yeah,
dog?
Treyu?
Yeah, dude.
Where,
I
was
wanna-
that it? Falcor? Was it Falcor?
Falcor,
Yeah,
yeah.
Falcor.
Falcor.
Yeah, I know, right? Leave it to Jared to come up with some
Wouldn't that- I think that would be
adventure.
awesome.
You want to be a rock biter?
Dude, those rock fighters. You know what? Because it's funny. I tried to watch the movie again. I hated it. Watching it as an adult, but as a kid, it was my favorite movie.
Oh, it's great.
Did you ever
but
see part
you
two?
go back and watch it, and
Yeah.
it's terrible.
fucking
Go
dis-
watch all the movies you liked as a kid. You're like,
Not the Goonies. Not
what?
No.
Yeah,
Jurassic
not the Goonies.
By the way-
go watch Three Ninjas.
That was
Oh,
badass. I saw that in the
haven't
theater.
seen that in
Go watch
forever.
Three Ninjas, and you'll go, Jesus.
You're into it?
Oh, I was an idiot.
You left
Ah.
the movies doing karate moves?
Yeah, man. Like, you're all about it. But no, terrible.
I've
terrible.
been wanting watching this movie called Rad. Have you ever heard of a movie called Rad?
No.
It was the girl.
It's a skateboarding movie, right?
No, it's a bicycling movie, and they do it's like they race, but they also do like tricks and stuff. One of the actors is the girlfriend or wife on Full House, Jesse's whatever girlfriend. She was like
yeah.
a pretty girl. But this movie is probably so ridiculous to watch now. But as a kid, I was like, I want to do this.
Well, like, dude, I remember a lot of those movies are so outdated. But remember The Wizard?
I never saw The Wizard.
The Wizard, yeah,
Was that
dude,
the video game?
Yeah,
one?
where he played video games and he got to
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
like,
he
he was
played-
going
he
to the
played video
champion.
games.
Exactly, he was going to the championship and he had to fight a dude with a power glove. It was the kid from The Wonder Years, right?
Was it Fred Savage?
Fred
Fred
Savage.
Savage,
Oh,
yeah.
my good buddy Fred
Ben,
Savage.
Fred Savage.
Yeah, yeah.
Was
so,
it Ben or Fred?
Fred.
That's
Ben?
something that you know that would never be true.
What is what?
It would be like the Asian kid. That would be.
Yeah, right. It would be the Asian kid.
Yeah, it'd be the Southern Korean kid whooping everybody's ass. That is true. That's why it's dated.
Do you know what I saw on Netflix a couple weeks back that I watched also? It was just awful from my childhood. Blank Check.
Oh, dude, I want to
Blank
watch
Check.
that again.
Oh, my God.
You don't remember Blank Check?
I mean, I had fun watching it, but I was like, whoa.
No, what was Blank
Blank
Check?
Check is a kid. He gets
gets
hit
a-
by
Which one
a
was that
car or
one?
something.
He gets hit by a car, and some
He's a rich guy.
This rich guy gives him a check or something, but he's like,
He doesn't write a thing on it, so he gets it, and he deposits this like $1 million,
$1 million.
check. And
Yeah.
he calls himself Macintosh.
Yeah.
His computer was a Macintosh.
What?
And he buys this mansion and has a slide.
Yep,
He's got
and
all
a
kinds
butler.
of shit. He's got like a wall where you jump in like a Velcro
Wall, all that stuff, yeah.
You never saw
It's
that?
like the kid's dream movie. You're like, I want to do that. I need to get $1 million.
You guys, I
We
know
have a
I'm
concept
so-
of what $1 million really is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
In the same token, have you guys felt like you've been debunking movies lately? Because like I've been just being like, no, that would never happen.
Yeah, in our older age, it's starting to be like, no,
I
the
love-
real
I-
world.
I actually like, I mean, to a
For sure.
point, like, I don't ever really debunk because at film school, they were like, the teacher was like, well, that's stupid. It's just a coincidence. That would never happen. I was like, it's a movie. So I don't debunk that much.
No, there's.
Well, the one that got me was the Lone Survivor. You guys seen that one?
Yes.
What is that one? What's that one?
That's the one with
so
Mark
what
Wahlberg.
happened was they didn't want to take. They didn't want to take the little kid and the guy like hostage or kill him, but all they had to do was just take them with them up to the top of the hill.
Yeah,
That's it.
and just have him sit
Like,
with them.
They didn't need to let him go. Yeah, until we got radio contact, you guys aren't going anywhere. He's
Yeah.
like, let him go, and then they get. That's how.
But I
the
thought
whole
that
movie
wasn't that
starts.
based on a true story?
But
though?
it is based on a true story.
Oh,
Yeah,
but that's sort of
Navy,
Hollywood.
Navy SEALs, dude. Navy SEAls can't figure out to take them with you.
The most powerful fighting.
There's three of them.
Force.
I never thought about that.
Like, I haven't been able, like, our boss was just saying to me this morning that he was watching American Sniper. I never watched it. It's hard for me to get into these modern war movies
I
for some reason.
I actually really liked American Sniper. I thought it was one of the better war movies recently. I like it. He did pretty well on that one. I think it's
I picked that one apart.
That's interesting. I thought it was because Tim Burton, Clint Eastwood's been striking out recently, and I think this is one of his better ones recently. Obviously not his best, but
So, Mikey, do you, like, since you were in the military, when you watch these military films, is it just like, that wouldn't happen, that's not going to happen?
Yeah, just certain thing that they take creative license with is just kind of like over the top, and like there's no way they would ever do something like that. Or you would not make a 2,100 yard shot with a regular sniper rifle. You know what I mean? It's not happening.
So you're saying like
There's
these
not
movies?
enough power in that bullet.
These movies are fake, like chicks in porn movies. Real chicks never do any of these things. It never happens.
What are you talking about? Those are
you haven't explored very much. Then.
I know, right?
You got to get out there, man.
It's like, look at these fantasies.
Oh no, there's some wild chicks out there, and it's all into like what you, how good you
dry
are.
land
at.
is not a myth, my friend.
You gotta know how to talk.
Lie? Oh.
And alcohol is a great friend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Big Jerry.
And Big Jerry.
Lonely
Start
Nights of
whipping
Big
out
Jerry.
Big Jerry, and everybody just gets wild.
I think I would kind of start crying if I saw that coming towards me.
Oh, dude.
With tears of joy.
You haven't even really seen that thing. It's gargantuan. It's so scary.
Hey, I know most of you guys don't. None of us go to clubs or anything like that. But what if you were in line one day and the bouncer was checking your ID and the guy comes out and says, "Hey, Jerry, man, can you come inside real quick?" You would never be able to take anybody serious anymore.
No, I'd definitely giggle. I would definitely. What are you talking about? Nothing.
Oh, man.
Nothing at all.
Big Jerry.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous.
toting around that thing, dude. I wonder,
It's prop departments.
just like, yeah, what if you just went day to day with just a Big Jerry in your pocket? Like a real just
You
Big
couldn't
Jerry.
fit it in any pocket. You'd have to
Well,
like.
if you were really that big, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying,
Oh, if
like,
you had a cock that big,
you went to the DMV and just had a Big Jerry in your pocket. Just people be like, what the fuck's in his pocket?
I'm just waiting for someone to fall
Did you get in
asleep.
trouble for having that in public?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Why?
Somewhat of public indecency, but I mean,
You could say
No,
it's
I'm
just
just-
purple. It's not
yeah,
real.
and
Did you
it's
get in
so big, it's funny. You know, it's not even like
You got a
offensive.
sheath for it?
Nobody gets in trouble for having those balls on the
A holster,
trucks.
a Big Jerry
Right?
holster.
That's a good point, Mike. Balls on the trucks. Nobody gets in trouble with that.
I
That's
hate
true.
those balls on the truck,
I
man.
know.
No.
Yeah, you just want to go up and kick them.
I don't want to be that guy's friend. Be like, hey, look at my sweet truck, and it's got nuts. I'm like, dude, we're not friends.
And
Yeah.
dude,
Like that.
they are very detailed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
some that are veiny. Like, that's just unnecessary.
Veiny such a horrible descriptor, too.
Girls should get cars and they have little vaginas on the front.
Just little just
Little lips.
Veiny.
punans
Veiny.
just like dangling down.
I know, right?
I've seen like girl cars that have like eyelashes on the headlights.
I've seen those. It's kind of cute. It's not as bad
Except
as
for when you
giant
see
balls.
a dude driving it, which I have seen.
Oh, man.
I had to drive my wife's Beetle
Speaking
for 2
of-
weeks. So
Oh,
and I look ridiculous
man.
in it, dude.
Oh,
That was
my
great. I wish I would have
God.
filmed it.
oh, really? You had to drive her car? Oh, that's too funny. I wish I'd been around for that.
Big Jerry
It's a
in the
Be-
passenger
It's a
seat.
white Beetle, and I'm 6'4". Just I looked huge in it. It looked ridiculous.
It looked like she's probably in the trunk, and you're like trying to get away real fast.
Could have been worse. Could have been a yellow one. Yellow's
yeah.
the worst one. Every time I see yellow, I'm like, why? What compelled you to get
They're
that
all pretty
color?
She wanted to get a vanity plate and have it say Junebug. Her middle name's June.
But
Oh, man.
you know what cracks me up is
Oh, man.
there's some fucking car colors out there that I'm like, why would you choose this color on a car and tote around it and think it'd be super cool to have some beige off green?
No, I saw
piece of shit?
neon lime green cars when I was in Atlanta. I kid you not. Neon lime green. Not just one. Like,
That's hot Atlanta for you.
ugh, that place, man. That was my first time there, and that place is a trip.
Is it?
Oh, dude. Literally every half of a mile, there's a car left on the side of the freeway.
Man, just left?
I don't know. I don't know why.
Like abandoned?
Yes.
It's like
I
Mad
don't. I've
Max over
never.
there?
I had any desire to go to Atlanta, so it's all right.
I just flew in from Atlanta this morning.
Are your arms tired?
Ah, Bazing.
Was it hot?
Actually, I caught the good weather. It wasn't too hot and muggy, but I did catch a rain like I've never seen before, ever.
Really?
Oh, it just poured like buckets being poured out.
Was
While you were
just,
flying or while you were there?
While I was driving and stuff. And lightning storm like I've never seen. No thunder,
just
but
lightning?
thunder, but lightning literally like every 30 seconds.
Really?
Lightning flash. Lightning flash.
Did you
It's just
see the
constantly.
flash, or did you see the actual streak?
Flash and streaks.
Really?
Yeah. The weather is crazy.
I
out
wish
there.
we had crazier weather out here sometimes.
I do too, but I mean, I'm born and raised here, and like as I travel around more and more, it's nice to experience seasons. But having been born and raised here, it's nice to experience
consistency,
seasons.
exactly.
But it's nice to come home.
Yeah, because I.
I was like, I'm ready to go back to just the same all the way through the year.
So how did you enjoy the weather in Colorado when you were out there?
Well, that was the thing is when we were in Colorado, we were only supposed to be in Colorado for like 3.5, 4 weeks, and we were there for 2.5 months.
Just waiting on the snow.
Yeah, it was the worst winter on record to this date in Telluride when we were there.
Wow.
So we cursed
snow.
it. Well, it's really crazy. So we got there, it snowed a little bit and stuff, and then it just like 2.5 weeks or like 3 weeks, no snow.
Really?
None. Everything started to melt.
Shit.
It started to get muddy. We had to like start shooting interior stuff and like cheating stuff. And we were like, it was a bit of a freak out. We thought about moving locations, but that would have been like a humongous ordeal for this kind of project. So we gritted our teeth and bared with it and did it the best as we could. And then eventually it did snow, and it snowed for like literally 2 weeks straight. And that was balls to the walls gnarly. We did 14 days straight. We
Oh,
did
you
wind
did
up
2
having
breaks.
a day off, but we were scheduled to shoot on a Friday. Got in vans, we were driving there to work, and then they called it off on the way because the weather wasn't going to be right for it. So we got that day off, but we pretty much worked all the way through.
Wow.
As it snowed, and it was insane because we're going out to really remote locations on back of snowmobiles. And like my department, we had a snow kitty, so like one of those Polaris 4-wheeler things, but had snow tread tires on it.
Jeez.
And that's how we got to the locations and everything. We all got in that way, and then they had like the horses and the stagecoach, and we'd shuttle the actors in snow kitties and shoot as we could as it
What was
dumped
it like?
snow.
Was it cold as shit?
Oh, dude, it was freezing. Some days it'd be like 10 degrees. And the worst part is I got a really awful cold the last 2 weeks of the show. So while it's dumping snow and we're getting our asses kicked to catch up and shoot all this stuff we've been waiting for, snow, I'm like sick as a dog and I just got my ass kicked. It was so hard. I was in the so many layers because we're in the snow and it's dumping buckets. In like 2 weeks, it snowed 5.5 feet.
That's why everybody needs their own Oompa Loompas.
Exactly.
Whistle them up.
We just
go.
bring them in.
Sick.
The
Oompa Loompas.
next closest thing we had was we had a shitload of locals. So like all of our snowmobile drivers were locals. So
really?
We literally had an armada of snowmobiles. So it was just like they were like taxis. You just like walk down from the side like, hey, I gotta go to this place. And
like
they're like, all right, hop on. Hop
Uber
on. They
of
have
snowmobiles?
Yeah, they had a sled on the back, and you just take me to my truck. Okay, we're going to the trucks. Going down this road, and then just roll up and throw shit in the back. All right, let's go. Back.
That's funny.
And Crafty's bringing buckets of soup out. Everyone still did their job as we would, just to the nth degree. It was still we still had fun, and we still. The thing I did like about it though is that since we shot outside in the winter in the snow, it wasn't actually long shooting days. It was just long days because I had like long pre-calls and travel time. So I still did a 15-hour day, 16-hour day every day because it's big wrap outs. But we'd only be able to shoot for like 10, 11 hours.
And also it's in the winter still, so the sun was going down.
Yeah, it would literally be like we'd start watching the sun at a certain point, and then when it got to a certain point, you start looking at Bob and watch him, and once he starts really pulling his spot meter out a bunch, and his light meter eventually go, nope, not good. And he looks at Quentin, no, not good. And he go, okay, cool,
so
and we're done.
Did you guys pull out like big lights up there or no?
No, a lot of natural light, and that like interior stuff, big light. But they pulled out big lights to give a source, but it was bright enough, and we're shooting 70 millimeter film,
which is awesome. It's gonna be so
on
cool.
2:7:6 aspect ratio.
It's gonna be insane.
Super wide, super wide on anamorphic. The lenses we shot this movie on, they shot Ben-Hur on.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to a western, a good western.
Oh, it's great. Another thing that doesn't give it away is they say it basically in the Entertainment Weekly article. It's think Reservoir Dogs western.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Does Quentin do a lot of takes like we hear other directors like this guy on my shirt, Stanley Kubrick?
No, certain things, he'll do quite a few takes on, but I rarely do. Humongous intricate shots. Yeah, we're gonna do like 15, 16 takes on it.
Yeah.
But normal shit. You're shooting. Quentin only hires the best. Everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that by myself. I still don't think I was worthy to work on the show, and I was very lucky to be on it. But everybody that I worked with there was the best I've ever seen. Really? I've never seen a gaffer so good. Ian Kincaid, the best in the business. The best in the business. Like, the relationship between Bob and his key grip and gaffer, his key grip is Herb Alt, another amazing human being, great at his job. He owns Grip Tricks. We'd get into, basically once we got in, to our main location, they had it so down. He just used hand signals. When he's ready, they set him. He goes, "Go, camera's going to be here." And Bob's on a thing we call Bobcom, so he has a headset with a microphone, not walkie. It's a separate thing that he communicates to his crew with because he's not a loud guy. He's not a screamer or anything. So he talks. I actually call him Old Batman because he talks like this. in, Herb, in. And then they look at him and he just does these hand signals. He's just like, that's key. Bring up that backlight. Halo. Fill. But he doesn't say that. He just goes.
That's insane.
And then he just walks. You can't see.
And then he starts
hands
walking,
flying around.
Yeah, and he starts walking through the set, and they just boom. The next thing you know, you literally blink, and there's big like
it's ready to go.
Silks and everything, just looking beautiful already, and just like, where'd that come from? I didn't even see them do that.
That's cool.
It happened like that. They're like ninjas, and then of course all the Bob down par cam lights.
Jared and I work like that.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not in hand
Just
signals.
with eye signals, though.
Yeah, just winking,
blinks.
winking and smiles. No, that doesn't mean take your pants off, Jared.
Oh,
No, it's
kitchen.
this.
Yeah.
you can't blink when you're doing the blink thing because then they misses everything.
Yeah, because you might miss one, and that's such a subtlety.
So what's next, Mitchell?
I'm moving on to Better Call Saul, season 2. I'm gonna go boom that show in Mexico, and then I don't know what's after that.
Yeah.
That's like 5 months of work, so I'm not really focused on the next thing after that. But hopefully some more movies. Now I got this good connection in the movie world.
Yeah, nice.
It should be nice. Oh, they completely refurbished all these cameras for this movie, and built for the first time ever 2,000-foot 70mm magazines.
Wait, really?
They're like this big.
Jesus.
I kid you not. They're huge. They're huge, and like when you get over 1,000, you pretty much can't stop rolling because it's too heavy for the camera's motor to crank it to get it back rolling and reset. It's already in momentum, so it needs to keep the momentum.
But all right, so 35 for a 1,000-foot mag would be 11 minutes.
It's the same for 70. It's just a larger format.
So it would be.
Well, it's probably a little bit less because it's
Then
double size format. So say
I think
1,000
for
feet.
2,000 feet would be then 11 minutes.
No, 2,000 feet is about 18 minutes.
And the shit. So when you get to, you have 9 minutes, you still got to just keep rolling it.
You just gotta keep rolling. But I mean, it's a Tarantino movie, so there's 14, 15
It's
page
endless.
scenes. So when we do these
That's
big,
true.
long master dolly shots, it's great to have that 2,000-foot mag because we just do the whole scene all the way through up until whatever cut point we need to do.
Yeah.
So it was great. And like, it's amazing to be part of history. Like our first AD would talk about it. He'd always does a speech in the morning. And like one of the days we were shooting a very big scene between Sam Jackson and Bruce Dern. And he said, he's like, you know what? We're starting this scene today. And there's a kid in Iowa who's watching Sesame Street right now, eating cereal. And he's going to grow up. He's going to go to film school. And he's going to write a paper about this scene we're about to shoot. I'm like, wow. You're probably right.
Wow.
Because Bill Clark, our first AD, he's done Quentin's movies since Jackie Brown.
He's been
As
his
his
first
yeah.
AD.
Good guy. Very good guy. He's hilarious. We have some... Quentin has a great relationship. He's kind of Quentin's little jester boy. And he doesn't... He's a decent first AD, but he gets caught up in the mix and he doesn't pay attention sometimes. He's got a great support staff, but so occasionally he will give the wrong info to someone or to the actors, and once that gets announced, they'll sit down. But Quinn like, why do you have that jacket on? You're not supposed to have it. Well, Bill said, and he'll turn, and everybody on set will go. He'll get everybody's attention, and we all go, don't listen to Bill. And that's the mantra is don't listen to Bill, who's our first AD, who you should absolutely listen to. He also does another thing where he'll do a take. You were talking about long take or doing multiple takes. We'll do like 3 takes or something. He'll like, that was great. Like, that was our big sister. He also calls like his good take his big sister, and a close take he's like, all right, that was the big sister. Now let's get a little sister. So he'll do that, and then after that he'll be like, great, that was the little sister. But let's just do one more. Why? And everybody goes, because we love making movies. The entire crew, everybody on set does it with them, and so it's like going back to that camaraderie thing. It's like there's no divide there.
Everybody feels like they got a stake in it. It's a piece.
Oh no, and that's absolutely what he wants. Like,
tell him about how you get to watch.
When we were in Colorado, we didn't do it in LA just because it's LA and everyone has their homes here, and But in Colorado, in Telluride, a little tiny town, we did dailies. He did dailies, and everybody's invited. And it was at this little theater they built up for him in Telluride, and we would see dailies in 70mm work print. In 70mm work print.
With him, just everybody watching.
Everybody
together.
watching. He would sit up front with his editors and make his notes and whatnot. And we'd all sit a couple rows back, but everybody was welcome. You all came in, and sit there and you drink beers and pass the whiskey flask around. We just worked that day, so we're all beat. But go watch about an hour of dailies and then get up and leave. And he'll chuckle and like, "Oh, that take was great." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's you're part of this. You're helping him achieve this. You know, he gave a great speech on our first day about, you know, laying down the 2 rules. Talked about Tony Scott a little bit because Tony Scott was the reason we got the location that we were shooting at.
Really?
It was at this ranch, which is the name I'm blanking on for some reason. I don't know why, because I was there for 2.5 months. But anyway, it's this ranch that only one person's ever been able to shoot at, and that was Tony Scott.
What movie was that?
Not any movies. When he did his Marlboro commercials.
Interesting.
All those Western, those...
I didn't know he did Marlboro commercials.
All those big, iconic ones with the cowboys, right, and stuff, and Marlboro. That's Tony Scott.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And that's at this ranch. And after he died and everything, like, he knew Quentin had this movie and wanted to do it and was like, I'm going to hook you up with these people and you're going to do your movie here and it's going to be great. And so through all that, after all that happened, they reached out to him, you know, we're like, you know, we'd love to offer this up to you and let you shoot here. You know, we don't let anyone else shoot here. And it's a beautiful area. It was absolutely beautiful, like absolutely gorgeous.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. But yeah, he gave this whole speech. He's like, I want you all to be a part of this. If you see something, anything, if you feel like it's wrong, speak up.
Right.
You know, because if you're right, awesome. Kudos. You know, if not, whatever. At least you're showing initiative and you're concerned.
I like to hear things like that. I like that somebody like on point as Quentin Tarantino is getting everybody involved.
And it shows you
makes them feel involved.
That's why the movie's awesome.
Right.
That shows the difference of involving the crew, not making it seem like, oh, you're just these slave workers I have here to, you know, you're just hourly people. It's like, no, when they all come together, you can make a great product.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the movie, man.
It's going to be amazing. It should be out in November. They'll be doing a traveling road show, showing it in 7mm anamorphic.
That's sweet.
So look out for that. It'll be coming to LA and all around the country.
Cool. Thanks, Mitchell, for coming in. Thanks
Thank you guys
all for listening.
This was a great time. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to be back.
Next time you're on, let's talk beer, buddy.
14
Oh,
North
yeah.
Radio.
Yes.